Yebo, yebo, yebo. Welcome to Where's My Masculinity? We have a very interesting episode upcoming right here. We are talking on love and heartbreak with multiple men. How the session is going to run is we know that we usually pass the joint or the drink, but we're going to pass the mic in this case because we are men that are wanting to speak and talk openly and honestly about our experiences. So how the session is going to work is I have a couple of cue cards, which none of you know about, by the way. That's going to be a conversation starter. And by virtue of the way we're seated, I'm going to make the cue statement, and then each one must then expand on the cue statement. So let's get started. Here we go. Now, despite the fact that all y'all that are here might have gone through a breakup or a divorce or whatever, first cue starter is I still believe in love because ... Please complete the sentence as appropriate to you. And I'll start with this man over here and we'll pass the mic.
Mic check, Nyathan. I still believe in love because I think it always takes on a brand new form. So you could have a heartbreak now and you could feel like, hey guys, this thing was everything. Then when you meet somebody new, it's like it isn't the same thing isn't the actual same thing that you had then. So it will evolve and you'll like it for brand new reasons that like you didn't even think of. So I think just actually because of that, I think because life and also love have evolved.
No, thank you. Yeah. No, I still believe in love because I think to add on to Allah said is that it has the ability to reinvent itself, right? And I believe in love because without love, then I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like I have nothing like to give or I'm not willing to receive anything, right? Because the belief in love is the ability to give for me and the ability to receive love because I believe that I deserve love myself. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve Austin. I still believe in love because I think it's just something that every human needs. Obviously, also just to build on what Kulu said, for you to receive it and for you to give it as well is very important. But I think it's just something that actually helps every human being actually be who they are. So your character is actually built around certain things that you do. And if you don't believe in those certain things, then your character won't really show, you know. So I still believe in love because, you know, it's a very important thing to build your character and it's part and parcel of who you really can be and who you are. Thank you.
Here we go. Well said. I believe in love purely because, when it works out, it's worth it. It's the simplest thing. That's the only way I can put it.
I believe in love because the shit is fun. It's actually just really, like, you know, when you are dizzy, like, it's just a really good time. And I think it's not even just, and I think this is applicable to this space, it's not even just romantic love, right? But, like, even the love you have for, like, your genes, right? Like, it's fun. It's a good time. It makes all the shit you go through, all the things that happen in life worth it, right? Like it's actually just a really good time and a really nice way to spend your life.
What they said. Now, I still believe in love, despite whatever scars one goes through, because I think, when you're in that emotion, when you've tapped inside there, I think it's a beautiful way of actually expressing yourself, living yourself. I don't know, you almost like tap into a place where you're just vibrating higher when you actually are in that thing properly, you know. So yeah, when it's there, beautiful, and one should never block it now because of scars of the past or whatever the case may be, because you can always get to that point where you're vibrating as high or higher again. Yeah.
Thank you.
I also believe in love, still believe in love because love is a beautiful thing, and I think it's what connects us as humans, like you just mentioned, irrespective of whatever past hurts you've been through, but at the end of the day, love is just a beautiful thing.
I still believe in love because drugs. um, no, man, like, I think it comes down to, like, what do you want in life? And I think that if you shut yourself off to the idea of love or the possibility of love, you shut yourself off to the things that you actually want in life, the things that make you happy, the things that fulfill you. So I still believe in love for that, because it comes with the things that I want in life, that I know that I want for myself in life.
Hey, you guys made very nice answers. Now, we need to get to the other side. And my next provocative statement or cue card is the first girl who broke my heart. Dot, dot, dot. I even know you can say this. And we'll start exactly with this one. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. The first girl who broke your heart.
Sorry, didn't we? Oh, okay.
It's like, he heard the question and he was like, nah. No, I can't remember, like, the first genuine heartbreak that I've ever had. It was like crushes, like, it doesn't count because it was like back in the day, man. Like, it does. You don't want to go to school. Yeah, like, ironically enough, like, the first heartbreak that I had was in matric. There was a girl, I started dating. So I think I'd had a crush on her since primary school. And then in matric, she was like, I like you. But I had just come off of a breakup, and I wasn't really in a relationship kind of space. And what happened was, the relationship only lasted like 2-3 months. But as I was starting to get back to a place where I'm like, actually, I like this person, she was growing out of that. And so the breakup kind of happened at the moment where I was like, I'm starting to like this person. And it was like, it was that, yes. Hey, hey.
Yo. We need hard liquor. I think for me, my first heartbreak was also in high school. I think I was in grade 9. The person I was dating was in grade 11. And sorry? Yeah, I had high dreams back then. Yeah. Yeah, I think for me that was basically my first heartbreak. Yeah, man. There's really not much to it, but yeah.
Sure. Damn. Yeah, I think my first heartbreak came. Oh, there's so many, so like it's tough to even like put these things together. But the one that I can like kind of like solidify was, I think it came after matric, so maybe I was like 19 or so. Then it was open season after that. Like yeah, there was a heartbreak after. So yeah. No, the heartbreak after heartbreak. Now it was just like, no, free for all. I'm kidding. Yeah, so I think that one is just a case of, and maybe you start off there, right? You almost like over imagine what it needs to be like, and the whole dream is like heavy. You're heavily romantic. The pragmatic is nowhere near. So I think maybe I was like that, and then quickly you learned patro heard. Then now you start, okay, cool. Now let's get a bit more tactical. I don't know. I feel like that was sad because you kind of like lose the romantic in you. Then you go to the next one and maybe something else happens there and you lose the romantic in you and you become more pragmatic. But interesting. I have not thought about the first heartbreak for a very long time.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. I speak about that lady. I think about that lady all the time. I said, she killed me. No, I'm joking.
What she do to you? And you cry.
Listen, I dehydrated myself. This is the question I came here for. In matric. Hey, you know what? I almost thought about it, but I'll leave her now. I'm sure she's, no, actually, I know she's a good Christian woman. Once upon a time, I was at boarding school. I met this girl. She was also in boarding school. We had a very nice, it was like at the end of matric / first year. We had a very nice time. I was dizzy. Dizzy. I said, I'm gonna marry this bitch. I was ready. I was like, where can I find cows? Wait, where do they live? Introduced her to my parents, to my family. Oh, it's important for the story. She was a white lady. She was an Afrikaans lady, which was also crazy.
Securing the land. Hey,
Listen, do you know my sandals game was about to be popping? I was good. You know those ankle sandals with the strap over the big toe? Oh, the Feldschooners. I was gonna be good. Anyway, cut a long story short. After we left matric, because we were dizzy, then she went to UP. I was at UJ. We were like so I would go every weekend to Pretoria. And I didn't have money, so I don't know where I found the money from. But listen, I found it because, again, super dizzy for this girl. And she was a lovely person. Then one day, she just said, we got to break up. And I said, what? Oh, I cried. I cried. I cried. I wrote poetry. I was there on my bed, just like curled up, going, you were like a star. And now my world is dim. It was crazy. It turned out she broke up with me because I was black.
Here we go.
And her family. Listen, that's that's the thing. Why did I choose this?
Did you not realize you were black when you guys started dating?
No, but you see, the problem was because we were at boarding school, we were away from like her family and her parents and all of that thing, so it was fine there. But then once I introduced her to the parents, and I thought I was like still chilling. I thought it was cool. But then apparently her family was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. This is not a great plan for you. And yeah, so then I spent 3 months crying.
Okay, with these, are we allowed to give the address? I know where. No. No, man, my first heartbreak was first year. Yeah, first year. Funny enough. Someone here actually might. No, yeah. Anywho, I was just double checking. But anyway, long story short, we're together. Let me say I'm a late bloomer. Let me put it that way. And then I'm thinking how things are going smoothly along. Kanti, she's miles ahead of me saying, buddy, this is what I want to happen with you and I. My brain didn't think that, nope, if I don't follow through with the plans that the girl wants, she would leave me. Literally, the last time we spoke, if I remember, I was like, what? I'm glad you and I are on the same page. Left her house, driving home. A week later, I found out Uti she went and hooked up with someone else. Because apparently I didn't read the signs on the day. Yes. Bruv. Went to visit the lady. We're chilling. How the mood is set. She's like, let's. And I'm just like, no, I'm okay. Following week, something else happened with somebody else. I kid you not. Dropped her off, I think maybe on like a Sunday. I drove home in silence. silence. That was the first time I drove and understood that when I've got stress, I don't listen to news. I kid you not. I just drove in silence.
Wow.
Yeah. But no, man, you live, you learn. That's all. It's called the blanket story.
Damn.
Don't be like,
Yeah, ne. Yo. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, my first heartbreak. Just like you, I was also kind of like a late bloomer. So I really didn't. I just had crushes like in high school, primary school, you know. Things only, I think I only started really getting into the whole thing of actually having a girlfriend, you know, properly after I left high school. But the one that I can remember, hey, you know, it was a very fun time in 2010. You know, we had the World Cup and everything, and you know, there were lots of goals being scored and everything like that.
Philip was here.
Philip was here.
You're dribbling.
Don't worry. Hey, so yeah, no, it was an awesome time, you know, 2010. However, at the time I was dating somebody, and I'm sure if Bible and law they'll know. Hey, anyway, everything is fine now, so it's okay. Don't worry. So you know, I thought everything was going okay and everything like that, you know. Only to realize that, you know, Philip was also like dribbling me. Yeah, boy. And then that one was so. I remember that weekend that I found out that I was being dribbled. You know, like I didn't even know. I think it was the first time I experienced what anxiety is.
Yeah.
And what you know, when you're sleeping and then you have those lucid dreams and you feel like it's so real, and then you wake up like, hey, oh yeah, it was just a dream, yo, you know. So I think that's when it started. You know, I was even afraid to go to sleep. That's how much it was like just breaking. It was like hey. But yeah, and then after it took me some time to just realign myself. But what I carried on doing, I had to obviously go to like watch soccer and everything, because you know, I'd rather watch people like being dribbled on the field, not me. Not me being dribbled, you know. So yeah, so that's how I basically, it was tough, but yeah, that was my first one, 2010.
It was there. From my side, I think maybe let me say it might not be disclaimer rather. Don't know how long I've got to talk here, but disclaimer in the sense that. So I'm gonna say maybe not heartbreak, but pain in my heart.
Yeah.
The first time I experienced that, because at that time I believed I was in love, and obviously in hindsight you think not. But you know, romantic movies, these American movies, made me fall in love. Sandra Bullock, I see you. She made me believe in love. Like, but so hence the disclaimer is because mine is first pain. I can say was maybe grade 4, grade 5, and I remember specifically because the pain was on Valentine's Day. So yeah. She knows herself also. But I'm there in primary, like, and you know, I won't go into the long story of it, but me and this girl are supposedly dating, right? So it's Valentine's Day, and you do the cute things on Valentine's Day. And I made a plan the 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, to go and with my few coins at the time and go buy a PS. PS, I love you, Mos. You know, my brother. December Tandwini. If I'm buying your PS,
I love
of course. So the Tenga Yona, the day with my sense and whatnot, and then come back from Spa. I remember where I bought it, And then where I used to stay, or where my parents stay, is that there's a church right around the corner, right? And this church at the time wasn't enclosed, but it had the most beautiful roses. So I took my grade 4, grade 5 scissors and I went and cut the roses. And that I am, yabo. Yabo. I am not my daughter. Yay! So I got a PS and a rose in my hand. This is the day before. Then at the time, there used to be, there's a singer called Uloy Sobala. Yeah. He used to have this song, silky soft skin, won't you rejoice my wings, won't you be my Valentine, my sweet Clementine, something like that. That was the song. Yeah. Audition. But so I took that and I'd heard it on the radio a few days ago or something. I'd heard it somewhere and I wrote it as a letter, and I put those words and wrote it as a letter to this person. I'm grade 4, grade 5. The next day I go with my PS, my rose, and my letter to deliver this thing. But the person that person was a bit shy. So she'd always get uncomfortable. And unfortunately, it's that time where I'm by a papa, like all the friends are all over. Oh, Valentine's Day. Oh, you're getting something. So I deliver it to her, but she doesn't say anything. Right? I deliver, I think, first break. Second break, her friends come and they say to me, "Oh, that was so cute. It was so nice what you did. Oh, you're so romantic. You're so sweet. Oh, but she told me to tell you that." Wow. She doesn't eat a PS. The end.
Who rewind ya, Chief? They dumped you because they don't eat a PS.
The week as a partner because I didn't know that she doesn't like a PS. She took the rose, she read the letter, and then that was it. So it hurt. That's why I said I had to have the disclaimer. Sorry. That's why I had to say it hurt because, and I had to have the disclaimer because at the time, I felt like, hey, I'm in love here. I'm infatuated by this person for whatever reasons, whether it's societal pressures, even at that young age, to just have a girlfriend or to have someone you have a girlfriend. You play those games, kiss and catches. But it hurt at that time because what I'd gone through, I took my sense and I went to go buy a PS for you. I went and hiding there by the white people's Enrique Kerk, what, busy cutting their roses, coming back, writing a letter, and
You could have been shot.
I could have been a monkey. but it hurt at that time because I'm giving I'm not asking anything from you. I'm literally not asking. I'm saying to you, hey dude, I recognize this thing that we have that is not clearly defined, but here it is. And the response I got is that your friend is coming to tell me you don't like a PS. You're not acknowledging the other aspects of that. So for me, that was the first, hence I say pain. I want to say pain, heartbreak. Yeah, man, but I think I shed a tear or two around that time. But yeah, I think for me, that was the first pain I can say that was caused out of love by a woman, or a partner. Yeah.
Let me just quickly get some of my. Let me get some. My Hennessy VO. Cognac. Breathe a little bit. We're gonna need more wine. No, I actually like this actual conversation because I also feel like it also makes relatability. Because I think that once gents go through this kind of thing, you don't want to show scars. So a lot of gents will actually say, no, man, this thing was actually, mutual. Hey, what, and I'm feeling. But you can see now during these things, now I was blindsided. I was like, Agumnandi. Hey, things were nice. Chigi, I'm like, it isn't nice. And this whole, and this is chigi. Bah. Dog. There were no signs. I mean, you know what? Just like him, maybe I just didn't read. The Tom and Yam. Exactly, dog. But I think also, and something that I've also picked up, you remember everything. I remember the movie that was playing. It was A Knight's Tale. It was A Knight's Tale. Hungini text. Oh, no, it isn't working. I'm like, no, but dog. And the feelings that you feel, it's such a stupid feeling, cause you honestly become sick. You are sick. I left the room. I was still actually staying at home. I just left the room. I went to my room then. And then now my dad is like, hey man, like, I'm right, Joe. I'm like, no. No, I'm not right, dog. I'm not right. Yeah, no. It was around matric time, still high school. But yeah, like the actual feeling of the actual breakup, even though afterwards you are like, no man, it's just like it was not, important, but the hurt stayed, kind of thing. Yeah.
Now, second segment. So obviously, we've warmed up. It was just a conversation starter. So yeah. No, because from here, you're more than welcome to then cross-examine or question another man to go deeper. Because you guys have shared a lot, right? So it's not about me having a question set and blah, blah, blah. But the whole point is about also us learning from each other about our experiences. So in this segment, the only controversial conversation starter I will make that I want you guys to expand on, because it comes up a lot from men. Ladies, are you listening? It comes up a lot from men. Women are not a safe space in a relationship emotionally or otherwise, because you want vulnerability, but when we do, it's weaponized because. Please share your experiences. You don't have to name and shame. Hey, see the way the guys are backing up, they're like, I'm about to get shot now.
Women are not vulnerable.
Women are not safe spaces in relationship for men because. ...
Okay.
So on that, I would say it obviously depends on the character. Like I want to be fine, fair, right? But I think generally, there was an actual TikTok that I saw, and this guy is like, if a friend passes, sharp. If it's a really sad movie and you actually have a tear, fine. Nothing else. Otherwise, you cannot cry. Because otherwise, as soon as you cry or you become actually a vulnerable, sometimes they don't look at you as actually same. There's always, then now there's all these keywords, sensitive, insecure. I'm like, dog, I just was upset, So I do feel like it's actually, it's not always a safe space. I do also feel like it actually depends on the person and even sometimes on the actual time. But I feel like with actually social media, there's too many trending topics and stuff to go demasculate men. Iki demon.
Right now.
Say it with your chest, my brother. Say it with your chest.
We are literally on the internet right now. We are talking to the demon. Anyway, yeah.
To add on that, not to even answer the question, but the irony is that, and I'm not saying maybe, for instance, the woman people are married to or dating here are the ones, but you can take this session and someone can see it in a way they want to see it, right? And they can essentially then take whatever your heartfelt opinions are about a certain topic and package it the same way that you want to and weaponize it in the same way that you have gone and said, right? I've now shared a vulnerability or someone's shared vulnerability here, and that can be weaponized. I'm not saying it will be, but it can be weaponized, and not even by your own partners, maybe by friends that are women or by whoever, or as an extrapolation, it can be weaponized in a certain way. Because at the end of the day, women are human beings, and in the same way, I think men weaponize also a few statements made by women, to be fair about that. But to go back now to the original question, yeah, by virtue of being a human being, I think some women do English. Internet never forgets, eh? But yeah, no, but to be fair, I think women do weaponize it. Not every single time you're vulnerable, not every single time you're sharing, but you are. It is weaponized in a certain situation, right? And it could be weaponized in a situation, for instance, where you found something wrong in your relationship. Okay, maybe I didn't like what she did, etc., etc. And in some way, she wants to get make an example, stupid example maybe, but yeah, an scapegoat, and then she will weaponize what you had said about about love, for instance. I don't know. After women have memory, bro. Women have memory. Women have memory. Remember when you said?
There's a hard drive there.
And ironically, in that conversation, even in the conversation where afterwards your comments are being weaponized, you could have spoken for an hour or 2 hours. That sentence can definitely be weaponized against you by a woman. But having said that, I would be disingenuous, so I don't know what English is, so that word. Mama, your school fees, yeah, no. But in the same way, I think I know that wasn't your question, right? And I know, but I think we can also weaponize certain things, whether it's actions or comments. But to go back to your question, I'll say, the problem with weaponizing of what a man says when he's vulnerable is that it takes a lot to be vulnerable a lot of the time. Having grown in certain households or whatnot, you're not exposed to that vulnerability, and I think the show has covered that, to be honest with you. But it takes a lot, so then when it is weaponized against you, you then just go back into your shell a little bit and be like, well, I don't want to give you more ammunition down the road if something happens, or not if something happens, when a conversation happens that's uncomfortable, you might see the need to just weaponize that particular thing, right? At that particular point in time, not having the same context that was available when that thing was said. So, I think it goes both ways. I think we all weaponize, but to go back to the topic, women do it. Take time, people.
I win.
Not you, other women.
Can I ask a question? Do you guys think that do you guys feel like that weaponizing of vulnerability comes from an intentional space?
Yes.
It's fine. Your hand was quicker. You can start.
Okay, no, I think I actually wanted to touch on that. So I think you've set me up quite nicely. I almost think some of it actually almost happens instinctively. It's sometimes almost like maybe not so much intentional. Maybe there is a lot more primal stuff going on than what we think, right? So now masculinity is a weird thing, right? Because it's like maybe with the woman, she's actually is looking for that kind of like protector base, so you stay strong. I can break down and I can be all emotional, but you shouldn't. But then we're in a society whereby, but you should talk, you don't talk. And then now you do talk, you break down, and it's like, but now the perception drops on you, you know? And I was like, you know what, that other guy at work, he's proper, he's strong, he's solid. That's a real daughter, that's a man, look what he's doing. And you're like, dude. So like this is a loss the whole way. Then you go into that thing of just breaking down. Oh no, then you just shut up again. You're like, you know what, then fine. Let me rather just keep this tough on demeanor or whatever the case may be. So it's like, it doesn't feel very safe to it's almost like there is an unintentional thing going on instinctively when you do break down and you do go, it's like the perception kind of changes on you, whatever. You're breaking down about your financial situation or this, that, and that, the other. And now all of a sudden, how? Awusakwazi nokukhona indoda enjani engakwazi ukuyenza lokhu nalokhu nalokhu. So now it's like, why did I even do that? I should have just shut my mouth.
Now, why don't you have mine?
Actually,
I'm doing the best I can.
Oh my God.
What are you busy doing? My man.
Dog, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Should never have told you about this. I could have just sorted it out myself.
Should have called the 2 line and said, bruh.
Yeah, I should have just talked to my boys.
And I think the other thing about like the vulnerability thing, right? And this is not my own original idea. I found it from somewhere else, right? But the way we talk about like therapy and talking about stuff, everyone's supposed to go to therapy. If you don't go to therapy, red flag, what, right? But I was looking at this thing, and there is a way that I think women are raised to articulate their feelings in and amongst each other and all of that shit. That's sort of, so it comes very naturally to them. Whereas I think with gents, right, we don't sit around going, hey dog, I'm sad because actually, you know, my relationship with my father was blah 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 blah, blah, right? Like you don't do that. But then what happens in a relationship is, and I think this is where the weird manipulation part comes, because women want you to be able to talk to them the way they talk to each other, and articulate articulate your feelings the way they are comfortable with articulating your feelings, but it doesn't go the same way, right? If you are like, I have feelings, and there is a way I would articulate that, maybe that is, I like to go and have a drink with the boys and chat, like, because you can do all of those things. But right, if you do that, women's like, no, you're hiding the thing, right? They want you to speak in their language, but not speak in the other language where you're like, dog, these are the things. And I think that then becomes the problem, because then when you become vulnerable, what happens is, because you're trying to speak her language and maybe you sort of like mess it up and you're not quite using the right words. You're trying to like find the thing to say, but you're not quite hitting it. But then 2 weeks later, she'll say, remember that thing you said when you said the thing? And you're like, no, but that's not kind of what I meant. Even when you're saying it, you're like, that's not really what I mean, but like, I don't have the words now. Like, it's all difficult. And then it becomes that thing of like going into your show, because you're like, I don't want to do, this is only going to end badly for me. It's not ending badly for anybody else. It's ending badly for me. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up. Shut up, go. But then when you shut up, it's like, oh, you see, the thing is, you don't talk to me. Gal, what do you want me to say? And I think also because there is a thing where, and to actually Kulu's point, it's obviously not all women. It's obviously like this is but I think there's also a thing where I think it's difficult to sometimes. No, I lost my train of thought. Next.
To go back to when you asked, are there a safe space? Obviously, it's all subjective. Everybody's situation is different. And no, babe, this doesn't apply to you. You're a good human.
Hey, these men are well behaved. Yeah. These men are well behaved.
Yeah.
This does not apply.
Yes.
That's what we're supposed to do there.
Domesticated men.
But on Tuesday, 3:30.
What about you, babes?
No, man. So. No. So when the guys were speaking about, yes, one, it does go on character, and then character is not gender specific.
Right.
That's, like you said, even your own buddies can do the very same thing to you with, hey, keep on my file like home, Jolo. Or exactly, your homie's there on time. Oh, okay, so there's a crack there. But that's not always necessarily, like I said, gender specific. But then if we do ask, are women a safe space? I think that as a guy, when you want to open up, you have to, how do I say, you have a lot more things to think about of how to articulate yourself versus the other way. Your lady can come to you now, shattered, driving from work. Gandhi, she's crying because, I don't know, she packed the wrong lunch. Yeah.
That's the thing, because like people take things personal that you don't mean personally. Like,
As a gent, you have to, before you can be broken, but before you articulate yourself, you have to think and be like, hey, I've got to say it this way, I've got to say it that way to be understood. I've still got to, that's. So I think maybe they probably are a safe space, but they don't realize the maths we have to do before we come to you.
So that's guarded vulnerability.
so then,
Yeah. That's probably the easiest way.
So then that's not
Just sorry. Just to answer the instinct question, actually, and to even add there, I think it is a bit of instinct that comes from women. And when I say woman, I'm not only saying romantic, right? Romantic woman, right? My mom, I love her to death. I know she's not watching this because YouTube is not. Yeah, now I can speak, mama. Well, but I think it is a thing. Just based on the premise of just woman, right? Like, and I'm. Oh, I hope it doesn't come across as if I'm being sexist or anything. But yeah, no. But. And once again, human beings. But my mom has weaponized, and that's why I'm saying I want to take it just a slight step back away from the romantic part of it, right? To be able to actually understand that, because as a man, my mom is the first person to see me be a man, essentially. Like, she's growing up and she's making this man with my dad, right? Like, so in that sense, there are things along the way where you realize that, and in hindsight's an interesting thing, because in hindsight you can be like, but actually, that wasn't cool, right? Like, that was you weaponizing it. For instance, I'll make an example. I had a cousin who passed on years ago. Tragic car accident. And the day of the funeral, you do exeni, you in the morning, you go and see Zimba, yabo. And then I was there in the service, and 30 minutes later, I just walked out, right? And I just started crying, right? Like, which is in the Eastern Cape, and hey, what's happening there, type of thing. What? And is it? And this mamele, bruh, like, they're cool, bruh, like, and my mom, I love her, I really do love her. She came and said, hi, suzokhala in front of abantu, hi, indoda yenza kanje, qina yabo. And I told her, no, I can't leave it, right? Because I was at maybe semi-rebellious stage, but at that time I'm feeling now. This is where I'm at my room. But a few weeks down the line, we spoke over the phone, and she still mentioned that, right? And she because she didn't deliberately, hence I say instinct, right? She didn't know she was weaponizing it, right? And for whatever reason, she obviously doesn't want to cause harm to a child. But it did become something, for at least how I felt it, that was a weapon formed against me. That the fact that I showed emotion came back to bite me, whether at that moment or a few weeks later when she brought it back up, right? And for me, that's why I can say, take the love or the romantic part away from it and say, in women in general, human beings in general, do they weaponize? Yeah, I think inherently, and based on his question was, is it instinctively? Yeah, I think for the most part it is instinctively, right? And another one was, sorry, I don't want to hog, but where you feel, I consider myself someone who's, as a Xhosa man, obviously there's this, yeah. You see, otherwise, do talk coaster ever, yeah. But it's but even then, like, it's a yeah. I also lost my train of thought a little bit now after that. But as I'm closer, to be honest. Oh yeah, sorry. Once got into a fight. Or not fight. Fight's the wrong word. Argument. About something, and it was weaponized against me that I had cried at this person, like cried to that person, and it was weaponized in a word where I hate the word, I believe in it, and I can tell you myself that I'm this word maybe, but I don't want you to tell me. Don't tell me I'm emotional. Don't tell me I'm emotional.
What's wrong with
Don't tell me I'm emotional. Like, dear Goa, bruh. Like, exactly. But in the conversation, now when your ass is under the fire, that's where it becomes weaponized, yeah, I can see your face, you're emotional. Okay.
Who you calling emotional?
Reverse.
Watch me do 5.5.
I just need to go to the bathroom as you say that. Yeah. So I think, that's weaponized. Yeah, instinct. Sorry, instinct. I think it's instinct. I don't think a lot of them do it deliberately. To be fair, I don't think any of them want to hurt you in that manner.
It's second degree, it's not first.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. If I'm gonna hurt you, you have a bulletproof vest. You know.
I feel like you're itching.
It's itchy.
Yo. Yeah, ne? Hey. Yeah, no. Vulnerability. Yeah. All right. So I think definitely I think I have to agree with everything you guys have said. Specifically with the weaponizing of certain things that at your weakest time, you know. I think sometimes and this is not, I'm not saying all women or all men or whatever, you know. Disclaimer.
All disclaimers.
All disclaimers and protocols observed.
Yes. Oh.
I think we spoke about earlier on the question with I still believe in love because blah 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 blah. Now one thing about love is that for you to love somebody and for you to be loved, there's something you have to do, and it's called being vulnerable. If you're not vulnerable, you're not going to feel that love. You're not going to receive it. You're not going to give it. So the question then comes is that, okay, fine. Can I be vulnerable with my partner? Cool. You start feeling like you can now start becoming vulnerable. And, meanwhile, you don't realize that when you are doing that and you are actually being vulnerable with them, when tough times do come and there's like an argument or something like that, suddenly, like you were saying now, you are now reminded of things that you did in the past that you thought were actually resolved, but they're not. So now things that you went through and emotions that you showed, you literally bared your whole soul and your whole heart, to the person, and they now decide, okay, cool, I am going to pick this part when he was sharing his weakness with me, and this part, then I'm going to give it to him, and I'm going to say this is the reason why this can't work, or I'm going to say this is an issue that we're having, what. But when everything was starting, you say that, no, you must communicate more, you must be yourself, you must show who you are, and so on and so forth. So it's like a catch-22 situation where you feel like, okay, I don't want to bare my whole soul, but at the same time I want to because I love this person. And you're always caught in two minds, like...
So it's kind of like that weird thing where it's like, when corporates keep record of whatever, if you're not taking,
yes,
you haven't registered, or times when you came in late, but everything's fine. So when everything's dandy, cool.
And then
but when things are bad,
remember on the radar, 318.
So now your vulnerabilities come out.
Yes.
Shows that you were not online.
Yeah. So it's like, basically when everything is going good, everything is good. But when things go bad, then you're reminded of every little other small thing that you did, exactly.
Anniversary of the day this thing happened.
And then, so, just to put it in an analogy form, with soccer. So, like two teams are playing, right? So it's like the one team is like your partner, you are the other team. You guys are playing together and, it's a whole soccer game and it's a good game. It's fluid. The ball keeps going that side and that side. And the only difference is that because it's a partnership, there's not really keeping score of the goals or anything. It's a friendly game. So you see, it's a friendly game. It's an exhibition game, and you guys just love each other. I pay. It just carries on. But what you don't know is that the goals are being counted the other side when the fouls, the yellow cards.
Go offside, guy. 3.
Yeah, the offsides. And then,
I thought you were emotional. Why are you doing this?
Exactly. So and then just to come back to the vulnerability part. So now, when the other team, your partner, now sees that your left back is injured, because now you're showing your vulnerability. Yeah, born. Now suddenly that's where they start attacking now. Everybody just everybody's going that side. So basically, it sort of seems like as soon as you show your vulnerability, they feel like sometimes that's where they need to hit the hardest because they know that's where they can hurt you the most.
That's deep.
And it usually comes from a place of hurt.
It comes from a place of hurt. Like it feels like as soon as you show your vulnerability. That's where the kink in the armor is.
That's big facts. And it won't just even be in arguments, it'll be like little snipe.
Yeah.
And you're like, dog, are we fighting?
On your left flank.
It's those deliberate sniper ones.
You're like, wait, I heard it, but was it?
And right, because it's like,
Not coming direct at me with it.
oh, so sorry, to your point, like, right, it'll be that, it'll be like little snide comments, and you're like, Chief, are we fighting? Is this what? But then it'll be like, no, we're not fighting. Because then when you go, okay, we're fighting, let's fight. No, you're being crazy. But you get, but you also get, and I think that's the thing. Like, I was gonna explain this thing. Like, I think a lot of the time, I don't think women understand the ways that we are raised different. At least for me, right? As a man being raised, it was like, you don't fight with girls. You don't, if the thing is stressful, walk off, walk away, right? But then when you get into a relationship and you walk away, it's, oh, you don't want to deal with this thing.
You can't look after your household.
And you're saying, no, it's not that I don't want to deal with this thing. It's that in this moment, the way I'm feeling now, this doesn't go well. I can see this, right? We're not going to have a constructive conversation. It's not going to go well. But that's received as, no, you don't want to talk. Actually, you are a coward. And then it's like, dog, I need you to stop speaking to me like this. No, carry on. And then now when you go, actually, we can fight. No, you see, look how you've been crazy.
Did you know?
Look how you've been crazy. Right? Look how so you get backed into a corner and backed into a corner and backed into a corner. Once you're in the corner and you go, the only way out of this corner is to push back out. That's when it becomes, look. What are you doing? What are you doing? And the thing you're saying is, we didn't have to do this. We could have left this alone, circled back. Because the thing I initially actually wanted to say was, I don't think it's always instinctual. I actually think it's a lot of 50-50. I think we are taking a lot of credit away from women for all of the things. And it's all disclaimers. I think a lot of the time, women understand what they're doing, and they know that they're doing it on purpose, and they do it as a measure of control in a particular type of relationship, right? Because because I know that I can't articulate a thing like this, and this lady knows she can dribble me in this particular way.
There's no way
So
you can
then
say something
it
to me.
becomes a thing of be vulnerable, because my vulnerability gets weaponized. When she's vulnerable with me, and obviously not in all senses, but like I sometimes struggle to then find what the words are to say the thing to get you, to even be like, ha! But she's got the words, she's got the terms, she's got the things, everything is down pat, right? It's right? And it is a lot of words, like, right? I've been complaining with a lot of my friends about how there is a lot of weaponization of therapy terms. Gaslighting, right? Like something like gaslighting. I hate the way people use the term, especially the way women use the term gaslighting, right? Because now it's being used as anytime you don't agree with a gal, you are gaslighting. And it's like, no, dog. Every time you say, babes, I have a different experience to yours. No, but you're gaslighting me. No, I'm not.
And remember,
I'm not.
Following up, sorry, just to say this, it's a conversation, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
So no, I don't even need the mic. I don't know if you need whatever. But just to add a comment on that, right? And remember when you then saying that, no, I'm not gaslighting you, right? And you thinking you're raising your own opinion. The next conversation or argument you have is like, to get into weaponizing again. Remember when you were gaslighting me about that? We didn't conclude I was gaslighting you. No, but to her, like it's try to. But at no point I was just voicing my opinion, right? To say I don't agree, and then you use the term gaslight, and once it's gaslight, I must now.
I'm gonna shut up.
Ish.
Right? And that's the thing.
I'm gaslighting you, so let me keep quiet.
And that's why I'm saying
And you inherently agree then, and that's why.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that's why I'm saying I think a lot of it is intentional, right? Because I think a lot of it is I know these words, I know what the thing is, and I think also because there is like a weird toxic femininity where girl just hypes each other up. Like whatever bad behaviors they do, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, your man is gaslighting." Like the girls in the happiest relationships will be like, "Dump him." Right? And I think
then the social media there as well.
right,
The single
yeah, and
ones
there's
are the
so
worst.
yeah, and,
Single ones are the worst.
and like so, and so like and like,
Wake you up at 5:01 and not 5.
and like a lot of that thing will happen where you will do something for self-care, whatever. They'll be like, "You're a narcissist." Hold on. Right, like where you'll do something, you will, right, and it's all the therapy terms, and they get misused against you, and because you also don't have the words, the language to be able to fight back, and I think it almost eats away at your psyche, right? Because in your mind, then you go, "Am I really a bastard? I might just really be a bastard, right? It might be a problem." But but another thing, because she sits at home and goes, "Yes, he is a bastard," right? And it circles back to the thing about accountability, right? Because you can't. Oftentimes, it's very difficult to hold a lot of women accountable and say, "Babes, this thing that you did was shit." And I mean it in a sense of, because like the thing they teach you in therapy is, right, you're always supposed to give and take. So you go, "Okay, well, I know how I contributed to X, Y, Z, 93 and blah, blah, blah." But sometimes it's just your fault. Sometimes it's just you, dog. And you can't say that, right? You can't just say, "Dog, you did a shit thing." And she was like, no. But the thing is, because you have to remember where my childhood is from. Whoa, 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 whoa,
Oh yeah,
whoa,
of course.
Or remember what caused me to be here.
Yeah.
For this thing to happen.
On that point, and some here might know my formulation of this theorem. Do you believe going into relationship, in marriage and all this kind of stuff, there's a part to which you need to be mindful about the fact that women are in a space where they feel like they're the main character, so you need to cater for main character energy? What are your experiences around main character energy? Him. Yeah. Already, when I said main character, I'm already seeing. I'll start here with Tabis.
I'll be quick with it. So there's a wedding we went to like years ago. Look, for me, what people say at weddings, because sometimes it's a speech. So you just listen, you take in what you think matters. And I remember somebody said something at a wedding, Uti. What? Women can show off, men need to show up. So that was something. So no. Let me explain. By showing up, it doesn't mean that. It also depends on the type of gent that you are. Yeah. In the sense that, I don't know, personally for me, I call myself a simpleton. Honestly, if she can be the main character, I know that at our wedding, I'll be lucky if I get an invite. It's her wedding. That's the wedding, that's the show. Even in the marriage, I how do I say this? In a modern way. As much as, and I'm going to say this very bluntly, as much as the world has moved on, right? There's all this information and all the different roles that we need to play, but I don't think that the people that are living in the world have caught up to what is required. Yep. And yes, and I say that in the sense that no, well, required to function in this modern world. There's, if we just use information as a thing, there's too much information for what we are capable of. And I'm not belittling all of our mental but I'm just saying in general. So with that, that's why I think it still stands that in the world that we live in, everybody matters. Of course, we all matter. But I do still think that in relationships and marriages, women are still the main characters that need to be catered to, but not at the expense of your, to say it bluntly, not going to put your wants ahead of my needs. That's the easiest way I'm going to put it. Gotcha. It's, yes, but we can, as men, I will say this, we can take a heck of a lot more. Listen, I couldn't care less where I eat. But I know for a fact that when we're discussing where to eat, my line is, oh yeah, you're the fussy one. I couldn't care less where we eat. So you pick. Yeah, so you pick where we're gonna eat because if I say something, then it might be, yeah. And I think that in a lot of things, yes, there are the bigger things. I don't know where the kids go to school, or I don't know, things like that. But in general terms, I still think, and there's to some extent nothing wrong with that. We don't know where the world's gonna go. Maybe we're gonna evolve. Maybe our kids are gonna have a different mindset to it. But it's still the same. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's my opinion. Okay. Provided you're not putting somebody's wants ahead of your needs. No, mehlu.
I think in a slight, I agree with you, but I also fuck that. No, I just mean I'm just joking, but I just mean I think what happens is right because there's a saying, happy wife, happy life, in terms of the main character. And to be fair, I'm quite happy with my partner because she doesn't believe that, but like it's that thing like because that's actually bullshit. It should be happy. You have to both be happy, and I think my thing, at least the little soliloquy I want to make is about, I don't think as men we allow ourselves to be the flamboyant ass, fun ass motherfuckers we want to be, right? Because I need to stand behind my wife because she's got to do like even the thing. Like I've said to whoever I get married to, whatever marriage I have, it's me. That's my date. That's my day. Babes, you can do whatever you want with your dress. I'm balling the fuck out. We're gonna have a good time, right? And it should be like that just generally in your life. You should work together, right? It shouldn't be that her needs and wants come ahead of yours or yours come ahead of hers, right? It should be
depends on the character.
Yes.
From the get-go, the type of gent that you are. Like for me, dude, the wedding, pick what you want to do. But my sport, don't fluff with that.
But that's right.
I will not. I will.
But that's what I mean. Hold on. That's what I mean. But that's what I mean. I'm not positive you now. But that's what I mean, right? For instance, I don't really give a fuck about food. Let's argue we're making a wedding. I don't care about food. Do whatever you want. But where it comes to like the entrance, it's me. It's me. I'm doing it. I'm gonna have swans. It's gonna be.
Who died and made men the purveyors of women's happiness?
Who died and made women the purveyors of men's happiness?
Yeah, like same. Like why is it on men to make women happy? Like why? And there's the angle. Well, we can have that discussion. But like why are we coming into relationships looking to make each other happy as opposed to you coming into the relationship being happy, being whole, and then enjoying the relationship? The relationship adds to you as opposed to completing you. Like why do we put that pressure on ourselves? Let me go unbend the meat.
It's not a relationship and you've got a mandate. No, get it.
Yucks, man. Hey, honestly speaking, I feel like I should have said that side. I feel like I should have said that side just to take it, because honestly, I'm listening and you want to chip in, but like you feel like, okay, I think this session is just for me to just take in, But honestly, I appreciate the conversations. And to answer, sorry, just one step back, your previous question, with regards to there being a safe space for us as men to be vulnerable with our partners or with our ladies. I think, again, like all of you mentioned, it's not a one-size-fits-all, different characters. But I think for me, yes, there is that safe space, And I think, again, for myself, you selectively share. So irrespective of whatever problem I have, I choose what am I going to share with this person, because now Angeti, there's also that fear of, hey, if I'm going to break this, because I think the more I listen, I'm also just like, ladies also need to understand, if I tell you my problem, I'm being vulnerable, this is my situation, I'm honestly not looking for us to have a 5-hour discussion about this. I just want a solution. You understand? Yeah. So, so, so yeah, man. I think there is generally a safe space, and I think when you look around generally, again, even in society, you hear about ladies talking so much more about men talk, speak up, keep okusesifubeni, then kusasenaleyo buphambene hayi apha ku uzokhala ukhalela ntoni, be a man. Hayi, ngiyangithola. Yeah, so again, that was just answering the earlier question, and then I'll come back to your question. Yeah, I just need to take it.
That's that makes sense. Oh, wait, where is this going?
I saw hands up. That's good.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Oh,
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. No, it's a very interesting thing because we sit here and no one can say a woman has ever said, sacrifice your own happiness for me. No woman have not come and said, sacrifice your own for my way. Okay, let me not generalize. Yeah. Sorry. I take it back. Hey, I'm just scared. Remember, the internet doesn't lie, Baba. It holds the receipts. But sorry, but no woman. Oh, let me rather. In fact, you're right. Let me not generalize. To my understanding, women have not come and said, "Sacrifice your happiness for me," right? Sacrifice X, Y, Z for me, right? We do these things, and I'm not sure I forgot the exact question, but I'm gonna rephrase it in a way how I took it to say, you put them on a pedestal like your queen. Of course. Right? Like your queen. And you do that because why? Answer to your first question, love. That's how you also pitch your best shot to them. I'm gonna go and put you here, Jonga. You weren't there. I'm gonna put you here on this pedestal, and I'm gonna make the earth and the ground shake for you. You know what I mean? Right? I mean that not in some way, but yeah. But yeah, I think no.
I just want to ask. So, what then do you say to this new modern day or trending phrase of "I want princess treatment, I deserve princess treatment"? If you say, "Woman never asked for you to sacrifice your happiness for this,"
Got my Cambridge.
Can I answer? Can I please?
okay, no, because you asked him.
Yeah.
So then we'll
I'll be short, right? The demand for anything, right, is already off on the wrong foot for me, right? For me, it's about coming and saying, I want to give you this, and I'm going to give you this thing, right? You want to be a princess? Go ask your father. You want to be my queen? I'll make things happen for you. It's just my honest opinion. I'm not saying that. Like sing a dollar quote. but I get it. You're right. We're in this era. Oh, yeah, that happens. But for me, the moment you demand something, right, and it's well within your right to want certain things of a certain standard. I'm not like that's. I agree. You deserve X, Y, Z. Hey, I can't match up to that, but I know what I will give you to raise you to a certain other level. If that's not good enough for you, then dango. I know if I've answered you, my brother.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just wanted to point out what you just said now with, like, and this is just to disclaimers for everybody.
It's not personal.
Hey, so it just reminded me of something that I saw last year. And it made me think. Like a woman can say, okay, cool, I want princess treatment, or I deserve the best, I deserve this. And it's fine, and it's good, it's good for her to know exactly what she wants, and for her to be happy with herself and to make herself happy. It's a very good thing. It's awesome stuff. But as soon as a man also likes himself the same way as a woman likes themselves, suddenly you are now a narcissist. You are self-centered. There's just something wrong with you if you like yourself too much. Oh, I want to get the best.
Even if you like yourself too much, if you a flamboyant ass nigga,
I like.
Why are you so comfortable within yourself?
Yeah.
One of your phrase of confident as nigga. About loving yourself.
Yeah.
As umjita.
Yeah. So and just to go back to what you were saying earlier on, like you're right. Like you can't come into a relationship with a half glass, and then you want some of the other glass water to come into yours, and then there's always somebody who's half full, half full. Both glasses need to come there full. You happy, they're happy. You guys enjoy the relationship is just an extension of your happiness. It's not, oh no, we're getting together so that we can now be happy. No, you must be happy already, nigga. Come happy to me. Come happy to me, man. And the thing is that for me to come happy to you, I need to like myself. You also need to like yourself. I mustn't expect me to have certain treatment or king treatment from other people. I must give it to myself. You know, princess treatment, give it to yourself first. Whatever you.
And you're not saying be perfect.
Yeah.
You're just saying try it. Let me help myself.
Yes.
Let me at least try to that element so that
Yeah.
I can come to you as, because this thing of coming half into a relationship, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I must come home to you.
Could-
I must come home to you. And then because you come into a relationship expecting me to fill certain other pieces of you, and I don't agree with that. Right? I'm supposed to make you complete in other ways, but I can't come and be everything to you. You were a human being 30 years before we met, for instance, yeah. I can't be everything to myself, bruh. I can't be everything to myself. Yeah, but anyway.
Twitter says when they ask the guy, what are you bringing to the table? Girls like, I am the table.
Tabitha wanted to say something.
I was gonna ask. Yeah.
You had a question that you wanted to.
I was gonna ask you a question when you're saying, okay, cool. So I'm a full believer of, listen, relationships and marriage. Nobody's obligated to do it. Now my mom taught us when we were young, you marry for companionship. Logo kunye, you must come correct. Everything else, you marry for companionship.
You'll see to finish, eh?
Yes, you marry for, you must have a teammate. You can play or write on it. You need a teammate. That is it. That's the only reason you get into those things. So that I do agree with the whole, you come full, I come full. But where I think, when it comes to now filling up that extra glass on it, it's you, it's me, sharp. Now we're here. That's why I think the world is still primitive. Uguti, now we're here. Try this. Try this at home, kids. Fill up your relationship on we're both putting in the same. Tell me how far you go. even with, and shame, I don't want to say it in a rude way. Even the people that believe, or even the women that are like, no, I am the table. I know my worth, blah, blah. But to some extent, they also still want somebody who's leveling up in all spheres. And then that's why I think that we have too much information for what the world can, and I'm going to sound like a dinosaur when I say this, but for what people are able to take in. It takes, let's call it, I don't know, open-minded is probably the colloquial term to use, open-minded men and women to understand ukuthi le nto efuna game you are not even ready for. Because the moment I then decide to be like, okay, I see a 50-50, but Ute, you know you're worth pen. Asingene sonke siso. Ayihlangani. Then when it's the other way, if you come in and say, oh no, I've got you because I'm a level up, it's like, how? I know my worth. We're still not there, guys and girls. We're still not there. But I'm happy with where it's going.
Can I just jump in there? My bad. I also just think, this is a very exciting conversation. I just want to say, I'm really enjoying this. My friend, he is very annoyed with me because I try to talk to him about feelings, and I really don't think he never wants to talk to me about feelings, and I really don't think as black men, especially as black men, as Barack men, we do this enough. So, Lindile, continue. But I think that the other part of it is there isn't just a general thing where, as men, and as black men specifically, I don't think we do enough work to just validate ourselves, right? To just be like, I remember one of the things, because of this whole thing I started doing, like I remember the one day my friend bought me flowers. Cutest thing in the world. Like dude friend. Obviously, it wasn't like it was just like, dog, I'm buying flowers because I fucks with you, heavy, right? And I don't think we do a lot of that, and then I think it transmits to our relationships, right? Because the idea is you take the back seat. You are just lucky to have this lady, and just know, because actually, I'm not saying that you aren't lucky to have her, sure, but she's also lucky to have you. You are also somebody. You are bringing things to the table, and it doesn't matter whether it's money or whatever the thing is that you're bringing to the table. She chose to date you. She likes your vibes, right? But the thing is, we do this thing in relationships where, especially with men, it's you've got to downplay this person, to depreciate this person, to make them hear. And oh, my wife is the greatest thing in the world. But wives never say, oh, my husband is the greatest thing in the world, right? Except he is, right? Like, you are just as cool as that lady. And I think more of that, and again, especially amongst black men, and especially amongst ourselves, I think we all need to do more getting together and be like, right? And I don't care. I actually don't care. Like, we need to just sit more together and be like, dog, instead of like sitting where we tease each other. And I'm not saying we shouldn't, because the jokes, because listen, the jokes must fly. The jokes must fly. Ah, dog, your mustache is looking crazy today. It must fly. But we must also be able to say, dog, I'm really proud of you for doing this thing, right? You look good. You smell nice, right? You are a cool ass motherfucker. You are a really kind human being, right? The jokes must be balanced with the fact that, hey, dog, I actually have big love for you.
You wanna still wear the arm over here first, and then to you, ne? Yeah.
I think for me as well, I agree with obviously everything that has been said. And I think it also starts with I as an individual having an honest conversation with myself before I can promise this person izulu nomhlaba. I need to have that honest conversation with myself to say ukuthi amandla wami aphelela kuphi, And again, like, and I think naturally you meet your partner, right? Beke washi impahla, ngezandla, and you want to do better. Okay, a washing machine, So I think naturally as guys, we always want to do more for these people, but in you doing more, I think it first needs to start with you being honest with yourself, and to your words as well, when do we also appreciate ourselves, when do we as guys actually get to sit down and, like you said, dude, I'm proud of you, 1, 2, 3. You understand? When do we then do that? Because kwesinye isikhathi uzohlala ufaka ithenda ube semlindelweni waiting just for that recognition ekhaya, But I think first and foremost, let us just have that conversation with ourselves, and then once you clearly define where and what you are capable of, let us have another conversation with my partner with the babes. Listen, at the end of the day, I wish to do 1, 2, 3 for you, but right now, this is my current situation. You understand? Because I think the signs will always be there, but sometimes we tend to be a bit too skeptical to read, and then but I think we can still make it work. And this person has been showing you from day one, Uguti, nigga, you can't afford me. But for whatever sheer stroke of luck, or mhlambe because mashleli lana, and it's bring your partner. You understand? And because of that, you still holding on, and yet good in exactly ego. Good in well good. Chance, I'm holding on to this person, but you understand? Yeah. Sure.
No, but I want you to answer. Sorry.
No. Oh, sorry.
And it's a very, you say it because it also goes to that coming in, how you come in to address the meetings. Do you think that as men we deceive women, whether intentionally or not? right? Do you think we deceive women and say to, I'm making an example, but
Yeah.
that's a general question, right? In saying that I'm coming in, and you always you've never come to a woman and charmed a woman when you're struggling. Right? You always want to put it always.
Yes, yes.
No, but from the gutter. But almost like this is gonna talk mad quickly. In the sense of we speak about 50-50 and we're saying that a woman want this and we want this or
Yeah.
50-50. But do we not come to a woman and for all intents and purposes, this woman was minding her own business, and
Sure.
we come and disrupt their lives, right? And ask for them romantically, because that's the perception of society, right? And the deceit comes in where you come knowing that, like you said now, I can't afford you, but I don't want to go into affordability. I want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go in what I can give in this relationship, right? Do you think we come in and deceive, or do you not think we come in and deceive women, intentionally or unintentionally, by going there, knowing that we can only give 40%, but we go and show them 70% in the beginning. Then when it's time to come now, honeymoon phase is over, go city, aibo.
Yeah.
Why are you expecting, like I said earlier,
Sorry.
why do you expect me to be everything for you? But I came to you and said, I can cover your 20%. Yeah. This is the question.
I think
You don't need to answer my brother.
yeah.
It's just a thought I had about it.
No, and it's a valid one. And just my quick 2 cent worth, sorry. I think more than we deceive ourselves first. Because honestly, yeah. Oh, sorry.
So no, but can I just? I agree with his answer because I was going to answer your question with a question. Going back to the point I think where Lisa made around, are we doing the work ourselves to understand what it means to show up as a man in the world in a relationship? And are we entering these spaces as the men that we are supposed to be versus the men we think we should be? Oh, I should be promising you the moon and the stars. I should be like buying you bottles of this, that, and the other. Like, have we, in transitioning from a patriarchal system, have we lost what it means to be a man? Like, have we misunderstood what being a man was actually about?
On the back of what we spoke about last time, my question then to the men here is, where's my cue card? What I've learned from my previous heartbreak is ...
Crazy. I like this question.
And it's not even your first, it's the recent one.
No, I'm saying the most recent one. What I've learned from my previous heartbreak is that love is love. Don't love someone because of what they can do, what you think they are. Like the beauty of being in love with someone is, and I remember I had a conversation with my therapist and she was saying, would you love someone at the moment, how they are now, not how you want them to be? Is that how you love someone? And I think that's it, right? When you love someone because you just love them, right? Not because of what they can do for you, not because of anything, just because the spirit, the human being that they are is a beautiful thing to you, regardless of your relationship to them, because that's the other thing, right? So whether or not we're dating, whether or not we are, I love you. I think you are a beautiful human, and that beauty, right? If you can see that beauty, if you can love someone purely because you love them, right? Not again, like I said, not because of any other reason than that you think they shit ice cream. That's the thing. That's the thing you must aim for.
I think for me, what you learn from your last heartbreak and to your earlier point, not so much just on heartbreak, but just pain that stabs deep. I think for me, it was the loss of my mother, right? There's a saying that says, a son is a mother's last love, and a mother is a son's first true love, you know? And I think what I can say on that is open yourself up to love. Let us not be too quick to close off, because as soon as we close ourselves off, whatever form of help that is there, it will never find us because I'm closed. Like, I'm full next. And oftentimes you will find Uguchi, your current partner, or, and again, it can also be in the form of your sisters, whatever, you know, they're there to just give you nothing but genuine love. But because you're so closed off, you can't even feel it. And it's so easy to turn everyone and anything right next to you into an enemy. Because kwa mina self, angifuni thando. Because, I mean, wawufuna ukungithanda. Like, you know, you start questioning so much. But open yourself up to love, you know, and understand, yes, and understand that, yes, life continues, you know. Whether it's a heartbreak from a relationship, loss of someone you loved, but open yourself up. Because in you opening yourself up, that is where the healing also comes. I mean, fuck, you can heal so much just by being with umuntu, you know. Okay, this is the person I'm with now. Yeah, whatever happened. I was hurt in whatever form, but I'm open to love. And this person will love you genuinely. And you will not only see, but feel it to the core because you've opened yourself up to it. So for me, I would say let us not close off, but let's open up. Because in us opening up, that is where the healing also comes. A conversation we had earlier on, you know, through such platforms, the therapy bill starts going down because now I've opened myself up. The invite could have been to 1,000 people, but only these people here accepted because we've already opened ourselves up to say, good, I might have certain issues of vulnerability, I might need help here, but whatever experience I've gone through, I'm willing to talk. You know, it's my first time meeting everyone in this platform, you understand, but I'm okay because ngizivulile inhliziyo, and even nangezulu baye bathi dedela igazi, dedela zivule, like, and only once you do that, then you'll take a typical example, you'll take a prisoner committed for, sentenced for murder for 25, 30, whatever number of years. And when they come out, they'll tell you one thing, the day I accepted God. You didn't just wake up and accept God, but he or she had to open themselves up to say, Lord, I need you. So equally with love, you know? So yeah, sorry.
No, that was fucking profound.
I don't know. Oh, they said I should drop the mic and walk out.
There's no hands following.
It's like, who wants to follow that? No, man, I think for me, the biggest lesson that I learned from previous heartbreak was that you need to show up. Like you need to do the work to figure out how to show up. And this goes back to speaking to showing up for yourself in terms of understanding what do I need, what do I want, what makes me happy, and showing up for myself such that I am guarding that and I'm not letting anything outside of me impact that to the point where now I'm no longer happy and my needs are no longer being met, right? It speaks to showing up. It speaks to having that ability to do the work to also present the best version of yourself, not because it's an act, in a relationship and like you're trying to impress someone, but rather like this is me, this is the best, the fullest version of myself, and I'm doing the work that allows me to be able to show up even in the context of a relationship, regardless of what's happened in the past. Because I think probably the thing that I learned about myself in the previous relationship is that I would forget to look out for me. I would forget to show up for myself. I'd forget to love myself as a person. And that is the thing which typically in relationships leads to that breakdown in relationship, because when you're not doing that for yourself, there's no chance in hell you're going to be able to do that for someone else. And it just becomes a race to the bottom. So I think for me, the biggest thing, and like I'm thankful for the lesson, is like just learning to show up. Jay.
Damn. But I think I seriously felt that point. What have I learned from my previous heartbreak? And I'm just going to really focus on, probably maybe one of the biggest ones. Okay, so I think sometimes and I think I touched on this one a little bit earlier, but anyways, sometimes we create the relationship and the person in front of you, she's right there, she's in front of you and everything like that, but what's there, what's real, what's actually happening there isn't really what you see. What you start doing is you start creating this fantasy, this dream world of what's actually happening, right? And then you start creating hyper expectations in terms of what she needs to be like, what you need to be like, whatever the case may be. And I think a very big thing that starts happening then is your ego type gets involved. This is my girl, my car, my this, my that, whatever the case may be. So when the wheels start falling off the wagon, you too deep in that fantasy and your ego's too heavily blinding you from, dude, like, there's some red flags going on here and you're not seeing. There's some things that you have not worked on yourself that you've been messing up. There's been things that she's been messing up. You're not seeing none of that stuff. You're just living in this fantasy driven so strongly and blinded so strongly by your ego. And it goes on for so damn long. That's why all of us were saying earlier on, no, cheeky, this, that. No, dude, this thing fell apart long ago, but now you've been blind, you know? Your ego been hiding it. yeah, the signs have been there. And you just not been seeing this because now you're in a fairy tale. And your ego is like, yes, this is what's happening, it's this, it's my this, it's my that. So now it feels like the whole world's been pulled up from under your feet when it all goes away. And you're like, huh? You know, you feel like you fell for a Ponzi scheme, but you were not. I don't know, I think that's like a huge lesson. It's a tough one to actually still apply because naturally your ego attaches when you start caring a lot. Sometimes it's even a case of it doing it to try and defend you from any sort of heartbreak or any sort of pain or whatever the case may be. So now it's like, yeah, man, now you get into this weird state of, no, but I want Pasutini, this, that, whatever. So that's a big one that I had to learn.
Can I just, I know it was pausing, I know I've spoken already. I'm just adding a question to the question. Question to the room. What is everybody's relationship to expectations in a relationship? Not her expectations, your ones, right? And how, whether or not she fulfills them, but like what is your relationship to like expectation?
Looks like I'm answering two questions. So I'll start with the first one. What did I learn from my last breakup or a breakup? Heartbreak. I think the very first thing that I actually learned was that I needed to work a lot on my self-awareness in terms of seeing things that I need to work on, seeing things that maybe I can see that in the future they might actually interrupt something and so on. I think that's one of the biggest things that I had to work on, like with my therapist, and just with myself as well, you know, spending time alone with myself, being specifically and intentionally spending my alone time and actually just thinking and not trying to run away from my thoughts or run away from actually thinking about things and actually just sitting there and actually thinking about it. So that's one of the biggest things. And then the other thing was I also needed to one of the other lessons that I learned is that I needed to be kinder to myself. You know, when especially the biggest thing that happens with heartbreak is that, you know, when it happens, your mind goes into this whole spiral of actually thinking about all the bad things that you did, depending on how things ended. But it goes into a spiral of saying, maybe if I did this, it is my fault. It was my fault. I did this. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not. What? I'll never find somebody else to love me. Your mind just goes into a specific spiral. Like you just feel like you are the scum of the earth. Like
You're trash.
you're trash. You don't see yourself like like a human being anymore. Like you just feel like, hey man, something is wrong with me. So I was like, no man, I need to be kinder to myself, man. These things do happen. Unfortunately, you can't make something happen if there's another person involved in the situation, because you don't know how they feel. They don't know how you feel sometimes, and even when you do speak, things may not hlanganisa properly, So yeah, I think that being kinder to myself, biggest thing, and actually seeing myself in a different light in a positive light instead of just always seeing. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And not just seeing myself in a negative light all the time. Yeah, and then to answer your question, or the follow-up question, what is the relationship with expectations? So I think the biggest thing about that, I think the way I see it is that I think if they're communicated, the expectations, if they're communicated clearly and properly, I think they can be managed. It's easier to manage them. However, if they're not communicated, but then they're still expected, it's like
You must be a mind reader.
yeah, it's like going. It's like trying to jump out of a plane without a parachute. Like what do you think is going to happen? Somebody's not going to live.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. So I think as long as they're communicated, then it's perfect. And in a proper way, in a rational way, and in a timely way as well. Because sometimes, you could be like, it could be January and then you're expected to now, go to Singapore. Like, hey, do you understand we're eating cabbage right now? I mean, hey, so there needs to be sort of timely managed as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, damn. To just start maybe on the loss and the expectation one, I think I agree with you completely, right? It's a communication element of expectations. The most difficult thing about expectation from my side is communicating with thyself or consoling thyself of what the expectation is from yourself and from your partner, right? And those are also, I feel personally, it's also internal conversations that one can have with themselves or and above having with your partner, right? So and it's important to have the ones with your partner. I'm not alluding to say don't have those ones, but it's also important to know what you're expecting from the relationship, right? What you're expecting from yourself in terms of this relationship and what she's expecting, right? To also avoid what's the earlier point or conversation or question was about deceit, right? Don't fool yourself. I think you said start by not fooling yourself in terms of deceit, right? And by then, everyone's on the same page about what is expected, right? And what we do tend to do away with expectations is shy away from the difficult parts of the conversation of expectations. It's easier to turn your back to that one, because I don't need to speak about that, right? Or you don't want to trouble yourself subconsciously, like even if inherently just you, without speaking to anyone else. You also don't want. So I think for me, it's about understanding the expectation, communicating with an external party, but being able to deal and realize when you're not meeting that part of the expectation, whether internally or from the other person. If I'm not meeting it, I'm not meeting it. No. And whereas men, we tend to do like any other person, and maybe that's why women confront us and are upfront about it, is that we then shy away. Like we're not, once again, maybe I'm generalizing, but I tend to sometimes shy away from certain things, right? Because I'm like, this might not be for me.
Not to disturb you, but that's because, right, our parents taught us you don't fight women, you walk away.
100%, and in agreement with you. You don't fight women. You walk away. But in the walking away, you'll always leave things unanswered or unsaid, lingering a whole lot of, and once again, you leave it today, but tomorrow you're not going to wake up and say, baby. Otherwise, in terms of expectation, this is what it hardly happens, right? Like, because you're like, once again, let me shy away from this thing, for whatever reason. And what I realize is that, excuse me, to you could be 100% right. You could be meeting your expectations, but you'll still shy away because I don't want to cause just that little bit of conflict, right? I think exactly. I think we underestimate. Love the show or the podcast show because we underestimate how actually in tune men are with their feelings sometimes, right? We are aware of certain things. It's the action part of the things where we're like, and the following again, I know there's certain things, and I'll take women aside, right? Like even just family or parental issues type of thing. I know there's serious issues or that I need to speak to my parents about, right? And now I'm a grown man, 30 years plus, but I'll still shy away, right? I'll still shy away. Whether obviously of how I've been brought up, there's many aspects to it, right? But I'll still shy. And for me shying away is not to say that I'm not in tune with what I know and my feelings, right? And I think we need to correct that to say that we don't know how we feel, because we do know how we feel. It's what we do in terms of acting on how we feel about it sometimes, right? And so uyindoda, hey, I've done everything. Ndiyoyika, like, full stop, ndiyoyika, but I don't need that. Like,
I think it's not even just that. Like, exactly to your point. Like, I think we know how we feel. We know the things. We're also a lot more, I think, in tune with time and place.
100%.
Right? And going, dog, right now is not the moment for this. Right? We can do this at another point, right? We've all, especially with the parents example, right? We've all had some version of, now that we're all above 30, we've all had that moment where we're like, I need to have some version of conversation that's going to be difficult. I don't like it.
But it needs to.
And I've yes, I have pushed it away, but I've also said I can't do this at Christmas dinner.
Got you. But then I can't
Right?
do it New Year's.
Yeah, I can't do it at New Year's. But it's also there is a thing, right? Because I think what often happens in relationships is often you're going to say, we need to talk about this now. But now is I'm at Baba Black Sheep. And you're like, dog, Sister Bettina is playing in my ears, dog. I can't have this conversation with you right now. There is a moment for this to happen, right? And I think that may be in the whole thing that happens, right? Because you almost get shamed for choosing a time and place, right? Wow. So you feel bad and then you feel shit about yourself. But there's actually not a bad thing in the idea of you going, I can't do this right now.
Yeah. True. Park and pause.
Give me a moment, right? Even the thing about, like, I know I often have a thing where I'm like, I need to think about something. And I need time and I need space, and it requires me like taking a walk and doing shit. And maybe it takes me 2 weeks, right? I'm not saying it's but right, I need to just let the thing roll around in my head. Right? But I think often the thing that happens is, oh, what do you feel? Tell me now. And like,
let me think.
I have, and also because what I feel now is not the same thing I'm gonna feel in a week.
Also because you say something now, and it'll be weaponized.
Yes. Right? And so you try
ready for this thing, but
so you try to figure out what you actually feel versus what you're reacting to.
Reaction. I agree.
And I think if we pay close attention, if there's one thing that the ladies do far much better than us, they express their expectations. And Tina, I don't know if it's a fear thing. I don't know if it's a fear thing or a cultural thing, but we're not so expressive of our expectations. I understand. Whereby I think this lady should know what my again, I think she should know what my expectation is for you as my partner. I expect you to do the cooking, the cleaning, the this, the that. But now we're living in a modern day time. You understand, Agogonya? Again, it's not when I say to my partner, I expect you to take care of these little basics: cooking, cleaning, washing. I'm not saying good thing it you a slave. No, I will help you. Okay, you take care of the cooking. What help do you need? Okay, I'll chop the onion. Like, I'm there with you, but it's not a situation where now, what are we gonna eat today? You understand? So so I think. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's
Okay. So I think for us as gents as well, I think we also just need to reach that space where let us also learn to be vocal with our expectations instead of us expecting for our partners to think ukuthi well, I mean umuntu wesifazane, I think she should know. But no, that is not the situation. And then that is why sometimes you find ukuthi we have a high rate of things like failed marriages. And again, I'm not trying to bash or anything, and don't read this wrong, right? Or failed, yeah, all disclaimer reserved. Not just marriages, but even relationships, because we walk into situations without setting certain things clear from the onset. And you realize good once you set things clear, my nigga, you're my friend. I love and I respect you. Our friendship starts and ends here. That is the expectation. I've set the boundaries. Anything above and beyond, what the fuck, nigga? Calm your tits, you know? You understand? You understand? So why can't we do that with our partners?
I feel like
Okay, yeah. Go for it.
you don't feel we're too apologetic about our expectations as men, right? So it's almost like the same thing of being shy to tell the woman that, dog, you do look fat in that dress, or whatever, you know.
But remember,
like, cause now we shy.
There's a
Yeah.
reason why you feel shy to tell her.
You honestly always
She's gonna
thinking the
stab
worst
you if
might
she-
happen.
No, because she's
Yeah.
going to stab you if you say,
So
babes,
she
you're
can
not
say
fat in that dress, she's gonna kill you.
she can say things like, I want a rich nigga. I expect a man to take me to this place and this place, and I expect a man to take me on travels. You know that thing that Chris Rock was saying, woman who can never just downgrade. Once she's gotten used to, oh, now we get driven in cars. No, there's no more taking of buses now. Now I expect that the next man I'm dating must have a car. No, she goes to a trip to Singapore, what. I expect that we travel internationally. Stop taking my ass to South Beach at Durban, you know? So now, so she's very vocal about that, and she's not apologetic about her expectations. But you to come and say, no, I expect a big booty hand, and I expect that. Oh, no, dude, I expect you to, be losing. Yeah. Have a squat program. I expect you to be doing some squat, and I expect you to be losing whatever you got going on. I expect no love handles or whatever. You can't have that. You in trouble.
Can I just add one quick thing? Oh, no, go for it. Sorry. No, I just wanted to say, good, the way we are so fearful of speaking out towards our partners, I would rather go and buy umahosha. I'm sorry. Again, I'm just again. I'm just gonna use the word. I would rather go buy mhlambu umahosha because guess what? I like it in the bedroom like this. Now because I'm paying for this, anything goes. But now I am so fearful. Listen, babes. When it comes to us, hey man, I like, let's rock up. Fuck is ceiling. No, my planka, because one day I might rock up and be like Tarzan. If you understand? Sorry?
You may not have been taught how to communicate properly as young.
No. We were taught to go around your partner. Yeah. We were taught to go around your partner. Hey man, be careful, be sensitive. Okay, now I've got this fear. If I tell my...
But that's the thing, right? Was it a thing of you weren't taught how to communicate properly?
We were.
You were always the submissive because you were overly aggressive.
We were never taught.
What
We were never taught.
what is properly?
We weren't taught.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
were told to suck it up.
What is properly?
For sure.
Suck it up.
Because yes, we're told to touch that. They're told to speak.
And what's
So-
announced to voice out? We can't even. Sorry.
So I mean, I think. So I mean,
20 minutes. I know Linda 25 though.
Listen, we're gonna finish Lindelo's SD card today.
so I mean, I think like there's a lot of key topics that we've actually gone off, right? Especially if we look at how we've gotten to where we are now, from the base question of what did your last breakup teach you, right? Heartbreak. And I think that's a actual good point. And I'm gonna actually start there, because for what's it me, like I've been in an 11-year relationship now. My last heartbreak, dog, I don't even like, actually remember it now. I'm sorry, my last breakup, I don't like remember it. But I feel like a relationship, especially a long-term one, has a lot of heartbreaks. Not breakups, but actually heartbreaks. And there's a lot of evolution. Yeah. Let me have some Black Label VO.
That's deep. That's actually profound. Yeah. Okay, talk us through it.
I honestly feel like in a good relationship, and there were some very key chats being had outside off camera about how you feel about love. And I actually really feel like every day in love should almost be like every day you need to pull up. Like every day could be the loss. You are actually dating every day. There's no such thing as now that you are married, so there's like this middle pole and stuff. Every day is work kind of thing. And I think that is actually, key, because relationships, evolve. Going back to my first point, love in life, evolves. You could have had an expectation on the first day, and I can say like I've had expectations. Maybe the contract was set, but it's 11 years ago. You have both changed so much. Those expectations don't even matter now, right? And you need to go and rethink your actually self. It's like, dude, I'm still holding this person up to like things that I wanted then. So it's key things to go and think. Like every day of the relationship is like an evolution. Ask me the specific question.
But how do you think in your relationship you have changed for the better and for the worse?
Where's Will Smith?
Okay.
Will Smith right
This
now.
might be one for the price stand.
See.
Is this for the price stand or is it still for camera?
Well,
No, wait, Lens.
Thank you so much for joining the channel. If you actually RSVP'd and came, you would hear the answer. But we need to cut off at this point in time. This is why you need to follow, subscribe,
Subscribe.
and all of that shit, and click that stuff. And if you were here, you will hear the answer that Lozi will give. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
It was a script. It was a script.
Gents,
It was a script.
Gents, I just have one question.